Yeah, so with correlation, like I was saying in the forum yesterday, although the USD CAD might seem attractive to most of you, it is in the area now, but I don't trust the setup. And I've been telling all my private students, it's the dollar CAD looks attractive as an M2 setup. You have all the EMAs there, but then the dollar index has nothing in the way to stop it to go to 102 again. So what do you think might happen? And I actually posted it just when it was in there at the weekly 55. And also this is a screenshot of the dollar index, which has a little bit more distance to do till 102, where the EMAs are. And if you look, it happened yesterday. The dollar CAD tried to break through these EMAs yesterday, but it was kind of quite obvious because I said to you, there's nothing in the way for the dollar index to stop it from going to 102, which is where we have all those EMAs. And you get this scenario quite a lot, but most of the time it's very different. And sometimes the dollar index can break before, and then the dollar Swissy can follow it. And then sometimes you can have the dollar Swissy breaking a major level, and then the dollar index following it. So we got to keep an eye on correlation, and it's the same thing. When COVID happened, everything was new to me. Yeah, it was a learning curve for me to understand why are the charts moving in the way they are. So, for example, dollar index was getting stronger, and that's because the safe haven currencies were getting stronger at that time. You had the Swissy, the yens, the dollar index, gold, everything was going up. And then all the majors were dropping because the money was flowing into safe haven assets. And then also a year after, I remember I was trying to long the Aussie, and this is when the dollar was weakening and all the major pairs were basically going up. And I saw a really good setup on the Aussie, and I took the long and I lost it, and I took it again and I lost it again. And I was like, why am I losing on the AUD USD when everything is going up at the moment? Dollar is weak, and pound, euro, everything is going up. And then I started to remember my fundamentals, which I did uh, a year before that. And I remembered INO, and it had a very high correlation with the AUD. And if you remember, around 2021, um, you had the crash of the housing market in China. And if you look here on the charts, it's quite obvious over here. And if you know, iron ore is their major export, and followed by coal. Iron ore is used to produce steel, which is then used in building materials, which is again the housing market. So the housing market came to a stall. Iron ore was kept on the side at the ports. They were not getting anything in, and that is why the iron ore price took a big hit, and the AUD was also basically a bit lagging, but then it started to follow it, and we started seeing the AUD go down as well. So if you want to compare charts, you can do this. Click on the sign here, new pane, and then if you go on this options here, an existing pane above, you can see there, this is pretty much iron ore is the one with the bar charts, and the AUD is basically on top of it. And you can see they are pretty much the same chart. So when this was dropping here, I was trying to long the AUD, and then basically because iron ore price was dropping, the AUD started to also follow it in the end. And then I realized, right, I need to keep an eye on the iron ore chart, and why this is why it's quite important to have a look at a second chart before trying to go for a setup. and this is what I always try to do. Always, no, oil was correlated with the CAD before, but then not. And then you can have the same thing with the 10-year bond chart. I keep an eye on this when I am looking at dollar yen, because as you know, the Bank of Japan is the highest hold of US Treasury notes, and they hold about 1.1 trillion. So basically, if there is an impact on the 10-year notes, is usually impacts the dollar yen as well. And you can see that is pretty much the same chart as well. If I put it on daily, they're moving in the same direction. So that's why I thought that the dollar CAD was not such a good setup this week, although it met all the rules for an M2 trade. Any questions on that so far? If not, I can continue. And yeah, so then the dollar index is now, like I was saying in the past couple of weeks, is the inverted head and shoulder here. So if this breaks out, there's a possibility this can go up to the to a pullback at 102. And if you put on the EMAs here, we can see that 102 is next, so we can expect the price to stop over here. Now, if the dollar index is getting stronger, then gold is going to get weaker. You know, the money is flowing into the dollar, the gold is pegged against the dollar here. So if the dollar is going up, gold is going to go down, and we can, if anyone has missed opportunities on gold, then we can start looking in the coming months to look for buys on gold. And over here we have the daily 55, which was in here, which was making it a bit more attractive to buy. But now it is at 3,150. So if it pulls back to around in here, maybe we can look to buy some small positions in that. And this is, I'm talking about physical gold, not trading it. Because at the moment I was trading it last year and the year before, but then since it broke out higher, I've just my strategy doesn't work on this because I'm trading into an area where the price of gold has never been for, so I can't look back and say, okay, price has reacted here or here. And that's why I found it a bit unreliable at the moment to use leverage to trade gold with it. But physically, you can look at the price of gold where you think might be a good value. Definitely 3,000 would be an area I would be interested. Of course, not financial advice, but something I would be interested in buying maybe another biscuit over there. Mark uses bullion ball to buy gold, which is pretty good as well. You buy at the price that is offered in the market. But you can keep an eye on gold. It is when it comes down to 3,000 for an area to buy. So you have 78.6 wave, the trend line, and also the daily 55. So anywhere in here would be a good area to buy. And then if you look at crypto, it is basically lining up at the moment. And we had Bitcoin almost complete the flag pattern that we had here. So if you go on 4 hour, that's the flag pattern, consolidation, breakout, pull back, and then it's gone. So it came to around 106 yesterday. But again, I think there would be some sell-off over here because it's again coming into these highs again. So it would be quite logical for the price to stop there and come back down. Um, but you had the opportunity for many months now to buy when the price of Bitcoin was in here. So beautiful um, inverted head and shoulder there, and then we had the breakout. We didn't quite get the pullback over here, but if you were looking to buy, then 93 was probably a good area to buy again. Um, but yeah, everything else is going up. But I guess now is not the time to buy. You think about taking profits when the price goes up in your favor. What else was I gonna go over? Silver, I think is still consolidating here. So anywhere, Mark was saying anywhere around 30, uh, you would buy more, and even 29 in here. Again, if gold is starting to drop, then silver is most likely going to follow it. There is a shortage of silver, like Mark said, and this has the chance to do more than gold in the coming years, hopefully, when the price actually breaks this level of 35. And as you know, it's been rigged by the banks for many years and trying to control the price of silver. But once that breaks, I think it will has a chance to do more times than gold um, for profits. And I'm not really into stocks, but what is MicroStrategy is going up as well, like Bitcoin. Let's go on to the forex charts. So dollar index, like I said, breakout pullback there, and then we looked up. I was actually looking to get into one of the majors, and one of my favorites was the Euro USD this week. But I didn't get a chance to basically get into this trade. I showed you this head and shoulder pattern there before. And I was saying I was waiting for the breakout, pullback, and then to short. But this pullback came on Friday, last week. So I didn't want to take that because it's the last day of the week, and basically I don't want to hold anything over the weekend. And as you realize, there were gaps on the weekend because talks with China happened with Trump, and they discussed about tariffs, and I think they said they're gonna go to baseline tariff, and they're gonna keep things on hold for now. So he's trying to make deals there. So keep an eye on the news. And if you look back, he's talked about China down there. Um, and he's also going after the EU now to do with pharmaceuticals, and he's trying to bring the prices of medicines down as well. And yeah, so we didn't get the pullback like I wanted, so I didn't get into it. And yesterday the price just kept tanking down. So I'm just gonna wait again and see if we get a pullback. But for now, it's on the sidelines. But this was actually one of my favorites this week. We had a nice head and shoulder breakout, and I was looking for the pullback in there. So I'll just wait and see if the dollar index can pull back into here. Then we are likely to get a pullback into the euro dollar. And today we have one of the most important events of week, which is the CPI for the dollar. And when this comes out, all the pairs move. So just be careful if you are in any trades. I would say at least move your stop to break even or cash out if you're into a trade which is in profit, because the price can very swiftly reverse. Um, and then we had the unemployment news for the pound this morning, which was better than expected. And this week, there's a lot of lagging leading indicators. So keep an eye on those, like for the Japanese yen. You had some for the Aussie there, Westpac consumer sentiment, which is quite important. And if I keep going down, you'll see there's quite a quite a news for the Japanese yen. Pound over there, GDP, which is on Thursday. I think I've seen more that there's something to do with machinery orders, I think, as well, which I saw for the Japanese yen, which is over here. Yeah. So that is also quite important because they do rely on a lot of production. So keep an eye on the yellow flag news. Not everything is important, but some of them are leading indicators, so they can give you a better idea of what might happen to the future results of the lagging indicators. And the price does move on those. So going for the week ahead, we have the wage price index this late in the night over here for the Aussie, which is tomorrow morning, and then followed by employment change on Thursday for the Aussie. So I feel like the Aussie is a bit tricky to trade this week until this is out, and then it's probably better to trade in maybe Thursday morning London time, because then you kind of don't have much in the way. Although you do have the US PPI later on, and then the Empire State Manufacturing Index and Field Manufacturing Index. And Friday we don't usually trade, but usually manage trades that are open. So that's the news. And if I go through the setups, then dollar Swissy, uh, nothing much over here. If we look back, um, it's pretty much at an area of resistance over here and support. It's broken above, so we are thinking that the price can continue up higher. And it's pretty much like the dollar index. You have the EMAs just around here. So I would expect the price to stop anywhere in there, but I wouldn't touch this at the moment. Then the euro, I need a pullback, like I said, um, which I'm waiting for in here around 1.12700, which is where I'm looking for a short. And then we have, why do I not have the pound over here? My MetaTrader has been crashing whenever I put on the VPN, which is why I've just stopped the VPN. But if I have the pound, I'll have it up here. And the pound is very similar to the euro. As you can see, a head and shoulder as well. And we got the breakout. Um, the pound news is out already this morning, but what I'm waiting for is the US CPI news. So once that is out, I'm going to look for signs for a reversal in here. And the euro already has gone through, but the pound is still there and doing exactly the pattern I was thinking to do, breakout pullback. And I'm going to look for shorts anywhere in here after that news is out. So I'll be watching the 4 hour and then the 1 hour to look for my entries. And at the moment, the price is pulling back. So we're getting that retracement. And then anywhere in here, I would expect the price to do a reversal. And then we can wait for the entry signal. But I would say wait for the CPI to come out and then look for your entry. But I think this one could also follow the euro because the euro is going down at the moment. And also the dollar index is going up. So it lines up pretty well. The longs on the majors are very far away. And then this is the dollar CAD, like I explained. You can see that it is just going up. I would not look for the sell here because you're basically trading against the dollar over there, and we've had a massive break of previous support and resistance. Level 100 broken as well, and is continuing to go back up to 102. So not interested in that short. However, you can use it the other way. So if this breaks above, and does a pullback, that is an M2 breakout. So you could look for a 60 pip stop and then look to take it back up. So that's about 250 pips. There is nothing in the way here, so you can basically look for that long. Again, wait for if the EMAs can break here above as well, then I would say if this can break as well, then you can take that long. So as is basically clear for the longs. Then dollar yen can I'm not really into shorting the dollar at the moment because of the bullish strength. But the 150 area would be interesting for a short. And also if you look at this is almost the same distance as this into 102 over here. So I would probably expect a reversal around 150 because that's a huge level on dollar yen where price has reversed previously before. So I will be keeping an eye on the dollar yen at around 150 because it's a massive whole number. I would expect maybe the price sometimes to react just below 150 because it's a big number as well. Um, so keep an eye on that. But again, not a forward order. I would expect something to do on the shorter time frames to look for entries. Then the euro pound did exactly what I thought, breakout, and then it's gone back down. I managed to get, I think it was in here, a day trade, 40 odd pips, and then I closed it. Um, but it was very messy, and you can see this pack can take ages to get to where it wants to be. But we were just consolidating. Even if you entered here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 8 days to get to around here, and which is only about 100 pips. So it's just more than a week. And I was saying also how I would maybe also look for a long in here, but I don't like it anymore because you have just all those EMEs in there. But it has done the move. The head and shoulder pattern has played out. So that was about 100 pips. 120, I think it was. Let me measure the neckline. 140. So it's done almost most of it as a move. So that's pretty good. Um, but there was a lot of EMEs in the way as well. So that's what put me off from staying holding that trade longer. AUD, AUD is stuck between the EMAs over here, so I would not really be interested at the moment. But the New Zealand, I think, was a better option because if it can break below these EMAs, then we can look for an empty short, and which is around 65 pip stop to basically take it back down to around 260 pips. And look at this as well. This looked as a good M2 trade, but I wouldn't have taken it because the dollar index broke higher. So if that breaks higher, it would be quite logical for the New Zealand to go through the EMAs. And that is why I'm not in this trade yet, but I would be interested in a short once it breaks below all those EMAs there. Then Euro Aussie, not interested. Um, it's gone down. AUD CAD is interesting. It's the same trade as AUD USD. So I'll just put it up there. And AUD is going up, and also AUD CAD is going up. So this one here reacted there yesterday. Uh, I would probably go with that short there again. We had a massive pin bar reversal candle, and if that can follow it with another bearish candle, then I think it will go down. Um, what I do think that if the dollar is going up, then this would also go down, and the Aussie CAD would also follow it. Um, it worked yesterday nicely to the pip. I think Sean caught it in the forum, and then he closed 80% of the trade, making it break even. So well done to him. Um, But yeah, they are both closely related, so I would probably go for that one. But again, I need to wait for the CPI news to come out. It looks like it's now trying to get to that level again. Um, but like I said, if AUD is going down, then I think this would follow as well. It's got about 20 more pips to do the daily range, and then maybe you could look after the news what it does. New Zealand, no, unless it breaks below. EUROCAD, yes, I have a trade opportunity on this. It doesn't look good on M2, but with my support and resistance, it does look very similar to the euro. So this is broken out, and we had the breakout here as well. And this was a head and shoulder there. We had the breakout, but then it consolidated. So I plotted another level of support and resistance, which I thought was pretty effective. And we got the breakout. So now we need the pullback, and I'm looking for an entry signal close to around 156. So let me put an alert in there. So anywhere around in here, I will go then on the 4 hour and look for a reversal in there for a short. And then yeah, AUD has not broken below this level of support, and so the AUDCAD has gone down there. It's basically reversed back up. And then we have pound New Zealand. Pound New Zealand, I think. No, I don't have anything on that. And then New Zealand yen, um, yeah, just consolidated then, and because of the gap, now it's finally up. But I'm not really interested unless this thing comes all the way down here at 85,730, 50 pips stop or 60 pips, and then take it back up. So that looks attractive to me. Euro yen, probably the best trade of the week last week. Did the move. It's gone up even higher yesterday, but there's nowhere for entries in here. I would look again at 162 for an entry signal. Probably a forward order for me, 50 pip stop to take it back up. Okay, that's all the M2 pairs. Do you all have anything else you want me to look at on M2? I'll go on Earth and Sky and then put me any questions on chat box that you have, and I'll go through them. So Earth and Sky, um, slightly different this week. You don't have all those pairs meeting the rules. I think one of them meets the rules, or a couple, but Euro Yen does not meet the rules. We have the green lights on both, and we have the trend up, but it's not done 50 pips. Um, compared to the previous weeks. So Pierre is basically looking at this trend that you have, the bullish trend, and he's just basically looking to fib anywhere around 163, 300. We have the Athens Sky Zone, Fibonacci, whole number, weekly pivot. So it actually looks pretty good, decent to take a trade on. So you're looking anywhere in here. I would say 163, 150 or something. Enter there. 40 pip stop, or you can go a little bit conservative, 60 pips to take it back up for around 130 or even higher. And then you have the pound yen. So pound yen meets the rules with a new high, has done 150 odd pips, more than the previous week. And then you have the green lights on both. You're looking for the pullback around 193 as well. A whole number. You have the EMAs, you have the weekly pivot, and another sky zone in there. So anywhere in here, there's 90 pip stop. So I would probably go a bit lower. 60 pip stop looks better at 192, 670, and then to take it back up. There is a whole number here, but then your stop is about 95 odd pips. So you'll have to go probably on shorter time frames to have a look at the entries. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, and the last one is the pound CAD. So this one, I don't know if you have missed the opportunity, but it was in the zone earlier and even yesterday, but this has gone up higher now. So let's see if this actually does the move that it was meant to do. So your entry could have been in here, 40 pips stop to make around 200 pips. Okay. Any other questions? Euro, New Zealand, pound. Yeah, these are my least favorite pairs for this week. So that's why I have kept them aside. Aussie yen, maybe if it comes to 94, I might be interested. As the gaps have kind of like ruined the plan for this week. Um, but we still have some opportunities. Like I said, the EURUSD, I think, is there. If it comes to 156, the pound, I'm still waiting on. I think it's there. To enter anywhere in here. Dollar yen is gone, but I wanted to pull back to 146. And there are opportunities on the other pair like I showed you. Questions. Euro New Zealand short. Also, the Aussie yen looks in for long, similar to New Zealand. Yes. Yes, Adam. Euro New Zealand short. Let me look at that one. Um, this one, I was looking for a short in 190, but I haven't got that. So I want a pullback in here. The thing is with this one, this strategy, I'm looking to enter close to the structure levels where price has created support and resistance. So over there, I'm gonna get the best stops and the best entries. And you can see this one is going down at the moment. You can look at the alternative pair, which is pound New Zealand, and that is currently stuck at the level of support, but I feel a bit riskier with this one. Um, so I'm not going to get involved with that. But if it pulls back to 190, I'll be interested for the short. And then the Aussie yen is, yeah, at 94, I would buy if it pulls back. And the New Zealand yen, again, if it comes back at 86, I think it was, is that 85, 80, anywhere in there, 60 pips stop to take it back up. So I think the New Zealand yen looks better than the Aussie yen for me because of those EMAs. Um, so yeah, I would probably go with the New Zealand yen if it comes back. But let's see what happens. The Aussie yen is a bit tricky this week, like I said, because of news, and the New Zealand yen is kind of more clear. There's no news with that, but there are leading indicators for the Japanese yen, so just be careful on those. But otherwise, yeah, I would prefer New Zealand yen. Um, Euro pound short if it breaks 84, says master. Yes, very much, I would say. Those EMAs are all up there, so if it does break here, that's actually a good shout. Um, that would look pretty good. You can take it back down, put your stop loss. That's a big stop. I would say 50 or pips might be enough, but what's the risk reward? Yeah, 150 for 55 pips. That is not bad. Yeah, but again, I would say wait for this level of support to break. 84 has to break, and then you can look for the pullback and then short. Yeah, that's a good idea. You can put that up there to watch. Okay, if no more questions, I'm going to end the webinar, and I'll see you guys in the forum, and I'll post the webinar recording later on. You all have a good week, and yeah, just keep me posted or let me know what's going on in the forum. Thank you. Bye. Thanks, everyone.